Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a 2024 BMW 330i. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the BMW of Pleasant Grove, Utah for giving me some time with this 330i. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions, just ask for Joe. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 24 around town and then 33 on the highway, with power outputs being 255 horsepower and then 295 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see really cool body lines there on either side, and then of course the BMW logo front and center. And then popping down below, I love the daytime running lights, really sharp design. And then you guys can see the kidney grille has been blacked out, and then same thing with the trim at the bottom. And putting it all together, this has such a sharp appearance. The black on black looks really good. Popping around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 225, 40, 19 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see here with the wheel design, it's all blacked out. And then notice the brake caliper is red to create some contrast. Love the look of the fender here, and then you guys can see with the bodywork there at the bottom, all body painted. And then notice with the mirror caps, door handles also blacked out. Same thing with the window trim. And putting it all together, I think it looks really good. Again, the contrast between the black and the red with the brake calipers, it really pops. Now here's a quick look at the key fob. We have our unlock and our lock function. We've got the opening here for the trunk, and then you got the M colors on the side. And speaking of said trunk, you guys can see storage space in here is actually really solid. That's one of the big benefits of the 3 Series. Even though it's a smaller BMW, it's still very practical. Always gotta love it when you got a button there that you can press to lower down the trunk. Now I've got this small blacked out spoiler, and then you guys can see with the badges here on the back end. And I've always been a fan of the new style of taillights here on the 3 Series. Then you guys can see parking sensors, and then really cool look at the exhaust tips. And putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the 330i in terms of the looks. Now popping inside, it's soft touch here at the top and also down below, and then we got this cool little ambient lighting strip here, and then some speakers here for the Harman Kardon sound system. And taking a look at these seats, look at the stitching, and then notice perforated all down the center portion. Legroom here in the back is actually pretty dang good, and then you guys can see we've got some vent action, our own climate zone in the rear. We also have some USB action, and we have, of course, our cup holder armrest. And then last but not least, headroom's good. And now taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see again, soft touch here, and then more ambient light strip action. All of our window controls. And then you can see with the mirrors, they do power fold in. You got memory seats, and then we do have blind spot monitoring. And then taking a look at the seats themselves, you guys can see perforated all down the center portion. We've got our power adjustments here on the side, pedal layout down below, and then you guys can see here with our light controls.
Your remaining range is very...
Now taking a look at the steering wheel itself, you guys can see soft touch all around. You got our M logo there at the bottom, and then notice heated steering wheel button on the steering wheel itself. But yeah, all your practical controls in the front, paddle shifters down the back for the 8-speed automatic, and then your regular stocks there on the back. Now taking a look at the gauge cluster, you guys can see full digital gauge cluster, and the cool thing is it actually changes with the drive modes, which, I don't know, I find kind of a fun part of the car. Now in reverse, we have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and you can see resolution with the camera is really good. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, this is BMW's newer unit. And so first off, it does take a second for some of the pages to load up, but overall response time is really good. And you basically have this like itemized tab for everything. Very German way to go about an infotainment system, but it works really well. It's easy to use. It's easy to access the climate stuff. Notice we have heated seats, by the way, which is really cool. But yeah, there's a screen. Soft touch trim here at the top of the dash, and look at the trim down below. Vents here in the center, and then you guys can see here with the analog control for like the radio, for example, and then some stuff for the climate. And then look at this little tab right here. Wireless phone charging pad action inside, some USB action, a couple cup holders, and a 12-volt. And then here is the center control stack. So we've got this for the infotainment system. You get your gear selector right next to it. Stability control, parking sensors, auto stop start, your engine stop start, all of your drive modes, your auto hold, and then your parking brake. And then got the center console behind this with some USB action. Nice padding here on the top, by the way. And while we're talking about storage, here's the glove box, nicely lined with felt. So good storage space inside of that. And then last but not least, we do have a sunroof up top. We got the control for it just right there. So here's a quick look at the window sticker. You guys can see 2024 BMW 330i. 46,500 is the base MSRP. Got tons of options here. Total MSRP $56,060. And let's sum things up. Let's talk about visibility here with the 3 Series. You guys can see visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors, do a blind spot wandering, and throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let us set off. So we have a slightly different driving route now. That's all I'll say on that. You guys will understand. Anyways, first off, seat comfort in the 3 Series is actually really good. I like the perforated seats. I do find it interesting that I've said this kind of with other luxury cars, is it's interesting that they don't just do like ventilated seats as standard, especially since like these seats are perfectly set up for ventilated function, perforations and all. I've just always kind of found that a little bit interesting, but they're still comfortable, and you know, option wise, this is, you know, competitive with other vehicles within this particular segment of car, whatever you want to call it. And this will be our little racetrack run, I guess. Yeah, thing about this powertrain is it feels way we'll actually spin around here, that'll be a good one. It feels way punchier than the power figures suggest on it. It's one of the things that's impressive about the 330i, and just, or I shouldn't say the 330i, but just this 2-liter 4-cylinder from BMW. It's definitely punches above its pay grade, that is for sure. So I guess this will be our more official racetrack here, so we can see the power. Yeah, it moves. It definitely gets up and moves. It feels way more than 255 horsepower. I just had a C-Class as a demo car the other week, and this definitely feels like way punchier than the C-Class, and the power figures are pretty much identical. I think that BMW is just all about underrating their cars from a power perspective. But I've driven the 330i a bunch of times, so like, here's the high points. I think that it drives really well. Like, it's very comfortable with the ride quality. Also, that, sorry, this is distracting, but that TRX looks so cool with the wrap on it. Anyways, drives really well. It's comfortable, it's fast, and you know, from a price point perspective, like so the C-Class that I had, I'm just thinking option wise, that was like $60,000. This is, you know, $56,000, so a little bit less money when it comes to the pricing as well. And so I just think that I guess the value proposition that they are providing here with the 3 Series, I think that's really, really appealing. But yeah, I guess my only thing is, I just wish that, and this is not just the BMW, it's every single luxury automaker, I wish that they would just make air-conditioned seats standard across the board, because like that's like just one of the things you associate with luxury cars. And you know, I don't know, I feel like if you can get it on, you know, some cars that are like $30,000, and sometimes I feel like $30,000 that have air-conditioned seats, you know, on a $50,000 luxury car, I think that's not too unreasonable to ask for equipment wise, even if they feel like they need to charge like a $500 package. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that, but let me know your thoughts on the 3 Series. I still think that this is the most well-rounded car in this segment compared to the Audi and the Mercedes. The Audi is really good daily driver, not really fun to drive. The Mercedes is also really good daily driver, not really fun to drive, whereas this is a good daily driver and it's fun to drive. So like, I feel like you just get a much more balanced vehicle. But let me know your thoughts.